Alrighty, guys, Tuesday, November 14th, fresh off a big Broncos victory, and a pretty good day of trading. So, we had the CPI report this morning, and the S&P futures had that hourly squeeze. I bought me a few calls, I sold me a couple of put credit spreads, and off we went. So that was good for a $4,000 day, and then on Tesla here, we bought some call debit spreads in the master yesterday, and we're looking for 250 plus. So, over here on the weekly chart, down on the big three squeeze, you got a little bit of that slingshot action. The squeeze prints, so we enter compression. All right, we're building up energy. Momentum breaks under the zero line. Price breaks to 21, breaks to 50, breaks to 200. So they pretty much get the squeeze to the point where it's about to fire short, but it doesn't quite fire short. So from here, if they can keep it above that 200 and even better, back above that weekly 21. Again, we're looking for 250, but eventually that squeeze could slingshot higher, at which point you're looking for 300 bucks. So it's a little bit more down the road, but yeah, we are long Tesla, and we're looking for 250. So for tonight's video, guys, we got some big signals starting to print here today. One of them being on the SPX. So big three indicator. We've got the first daily buy signal since August. All right, so back here through April, May, June, July, everything's cruising, the market is cranking, and then early August, everything begins to shift. The blue bar goes to blue, or the green bar goes to blue. Momentum breaks under zero, a daily squeeze fires short. That was pretty much the top at the time. And then we're trending lower, things are getting nasty, and now here we are. So now we're at the point where the structure, the momentum, the moving average crosses, the stacked EMAs, everything on the checklist is aligned for the bulls to take it higher. So I think that's a bit of a big deal. But then I think a bigger deal is going to be here on the QQQ, where we're getting a combo on the big three we haven't had since November of 2020. And real quick, guys, we are doing the Black Friday sale. So add the product of your choice to the cart, and then with that promo code BFS23, you can save yourself a cool 30%. So I'll put the link for the Big 3 Squeeze bundle in the description. But that gets you access to the Big 3 buy and sell signals, the brand new Big 3 Squeeze, all the squeeze labels, the class, and the mastery. So be sure to check that out. But yeah, for the QQQ, so a weekly squeeze, we maybe get 1, 2, maybe 3 tops per year. So a weekly squeeze alone, it doesn't happen too often. So you'll see we had one back here, we had one back here, we had one back here, and now we got the freshie. And they've all led to pretty good moves. So back here, you're breaking short. Down she goes. Back there, it fires short, down she goes, and then you had the big ripper. So yeah, weekly squeeze. It's not rare, but it's something that doesn't happen every week, every month, or every quarter. Now, what is a bit more rare, especially for the QQQ, is a combination of a squeeze and a weekly buy signal. So down here on the big three squeeze, that little green arrow tells us we've got that combo. The squeeze gives us compression. So the Qs are pounding back on the Gatorade. All right, they're carbon up, they're getting ready for a push. The green arrow tells me the momentum, the structure, moving average crosses, the direction of the moving averages, everything's fully aligned for that squeeze to fire to the upside. Now, last time we had a weekly squeeze in the Qs, going back to March and April, that fired long. That took the Qs from 300 bucks to about 380. You'll notice back there, we actually didn't have the buy signal. Meaning this time around, this squeeze is actually more aligned for a push higher than the squeeze back there. So the last time we had this combo, weekly squeeze and a big three buy signal, that was all the way back in. You had one in November of 2020, and you had one in November of 2019. That's kind of interesting. These tend to happen in November. November 2019, QQQ goes from 180 to about 235. The next squeeze takes you from 250 to about, nice move, 250 to about 340. And yeah, here we are again. So from my point of view, guys, you got to treat this like any other time frame. Could be a 15-minute squeeze, could be the 4-hour, could be the 30-minute. When you enter compression, which is a squeeze, and then when everything's lined up for a push higher, the momentum criteria, the structure criteria, until that signal disappears, so until the green bar here on the weekly chart disappears, you look for a push into the upside target. Target would be 397.50, we'll call it $400. So moving forward, that's the game plan. Any pullback, any dip, any sideways action, as long as the QQQ is printing that weekly buy signal, I'm looking for $400 here at a minimum. When and if the squeeze fires, the target could actually go a little bit higher. But that, I think, is the biggest swing trade setup we got. And obviously, if that works, the Amazons and Metas and Microsofts, anything else in a weekly squeeze, especially if it's big tech, should do pretty good. So Meta here, I think, is a total beauty. A total beauty. All right, perfect, 10 out of 10. We haven't had a weekly squeeze in a buy signal since 2021. So right now, your upside target for Meta is about 350. We've got the big Zon here, the big Amazon. Beautiful weekly squeeze, big 3 score is 10 out of 10. And we haven't had that combo on Amazon since November of 2020, which actually didn't lead to too much. So we'll see if this one's going for redemption. Right now, the target would be about 155-ish. You've got Netflix here. And Netflix finally prints another weekly buy signal. Last time you had that combo, we had a couple of good trades there. That took Netflix from 320 to about 480. Until the signal disappears, you are looking for this weekly squeeze to take Netflix towards 500 plus. Not too shabby. We have got Microsoft. Now, Microsoft actually fired. So I'm a little bit late to the party, but it's all fresh. Last time we had a weekly squeeze, it fired and went for about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It went for about 10 or 12 weeks. So yeah, I'm a little bit late. My preference is I'm buying it down here near that 21 EMA. But the old rule of thumb is once the squeeze fires, you are looking for about 8 to 10 bars. So we are only 1 bar in. You have AMD. That's a brand new weekly buy signal. Target would be about 130, and then Nvidia here, who's been really strong. We don't have a weekly buy signal just yet, but we are getting mighty close, and when we do get one, we're looking for about 530, 550. Now keep in mind the QQQ is going to drive everything. So next week, the following week, if the QQQ pulls back, and we're under that weekly 21, and that buy signal disappears, at that point, you kind of pump the brakes and you reevaluate. But for now, as long as the QQQ and Amazon and the Metas, Nvidias, the Microsofts, the AMDs of the world, as long as they have that combo, a weekly squeeze and a buy signal, I am waiting on a dip and I am looking to get long. Now, speaking of waiting for a dip, keep in mind the QQQ is a cool 5% above that daily 21 EMA. What does that mean? To me, that means tomorrow morning the QQQ could gap down 2, 3, 4, 5%, and we're still looking at a good daily chart. Structure would still be good, momentum would still be good. Doesn't mean we have to pull back. But as much as I like those weekly squeezes, it's not the spot where I'm going to get super, super aggressive. I'll put a little cash to work. I'll risk, 1% to make 8% on a debit spread, but before I can put on a big 10, 12, 15% position size, I would need a little bit of a dip. But there you have it, guys. The first weekly squeeze and buy signal on the QQQ since 2020, and the first daily buy signal on the S&Ps since August. Shaping up for an interesting push towards the end of the year. But all right, y'all, thank you for watching. I'm going to go hang out with my wife. Hope you find it helpful. And yeah, check out that Black Friday sale. Save yourself a nice 30%, and I'll put that link down here in the description. Have a good night, be safe, stay warm, and I'll talk to y'all soon. Adios.